separate ministry for the creative arts. Someone said the NPP manifesto this year has two big promises. One is to legalize Okada, the other is to create a ministry, a separate ministry for creative arts. Yeah, the NDC manifesto. That is
big.
Those, but they are big, or they are not big. Sorry.
But I have too many other big promises.
These are the ones that we remember the most.
Oh, you don't remember the big push?
Which one?
The big push. It won't make you read the Bible itself.
To push you.
You don't remember the big push?
No. But I remember the Okada. the Okada one they beat me.
You don't remember free primary healthcare? You don't remember that?
When you talk push, it normally means you are being pushed into a ditch.
No, but not in this case.
So that word push, be careful.
No, but this is a big push.
That's the more reason we should be careful.
Yeah, but this has been detailed well to show that it's a positive
like
word.
We should read the book, the manifesto.
You don't need to. I can explain.
Wait.
In the studios, I've got Kennedy, Kwame Rasta is here, Sadiq Abdullah Abu, CEO of 3 Music Awards, and of course, lead managing partner at the FIBA Consort, Mr. Jesse Amwejapong. And good afternoon to you all, gentlemen.
I'm very happy.
George,
why are you happy, Uncle Ken? Is it your birthday?
I am very happy because Jesse is here.
Oh, okay.
I always get so excited when Jesse is with us.
Oh, okay.
Because
why are you
like that?
Well, Jesse is a permanent member of our panel now, so that's good news. Yeah. He's a permanent member of the
now that
panel.
it's been announced, you can't do anything.
No.
Because I learned so much from Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse, you have to announce your social media handle so your fans can follow you. Sadiq, what are we going to call Jesse's followers? Because we have the Canadics. What are we going to call Jesse's followers?
Jessicas.
Jessica. Rasta
that's all. As for Sadiq's followers, we know Wanzams.
What about yours?
Imams.
Imams are not Wanzams. Let us get into it. Sadiq, I mean, you've been speaking for the NDC. I think it is fair that you take the first bite at this one. Do you guys honestly, or is it just a promise you want to make the industry because you think the industry needs something very big to hear so that they can just rally behind you and through their support and wait behind the NDC? Do you really believe, and have you done the studies that show that Ghana actually needs a creative arts ministry? And for a party that has been complaining about all these ministries the NPP has set up, you think this is a prudent idea? You think it's a need?
Yes, I think it's a prudent idea. One owing to how the narrative has been changing over time. You recognize that, I mean, as a party, we started taking the step to this day when we added the arts to also the tourism and culture ministries, and I mean, we think that helped to elevate the conversation very well. But at this particular point, we think that the creative industry or the creative economy is too huge an industry to be left alone without necessarily having to prioritize the policy part of it. Now, this week, I found out something. That's for you to want to appreciate the size of it. I've always been making the point that the Fashion and Dressmakers Association of Ghana have over 50,000 members who are part of the creative economy. Yeah. Now, according to the NIA data, when yesterday, I mean, somebody put it up and I saw it on social media, the 10 top, what is it? Let me read it very well. It's the top 10 occupations as registered in the NI for the card. And at number 6 is tailors, dressmakers, sewers, upholsterers and related workers. And number 8 is hairdressers, barbers, beauticians and related workers. Now, each has, the tailors part category has 525,876. The hairdressers have 424,688.
What was the hairdressers figure?
It's 424,688. Right. Now, for when you put that together, you have 950,000.
Nearly a million.
Yes, nearly a million. Now, I believe that if a number of other people working in and around the creative industry had specified exactly what. For instance, I have not registered there, but if I had registered, I'm sure I would probably have indicated I'm an entrepreneur. No, I'm saying I'm a Ghanaian. I'm a Ghanaian. I have a passport and everything. When is due, I'll register.
You don't want
the card. Well, I want it. I'll register for it. I haven't really had the time to, but I've got other cards that qualifies me as a Ghanaian. So the point is, it gives you now. This is even per the registrations of NIA. The top 10.
Yeah.
The top 10. 2 of the most important categories, which is nearly 1 million, are all workers in and around the creative industry. So this gives you an idea of it. Now take beyond that and move in. Perhaps we don't appreciate when we talk about the creative industry very well. Let me just break it down for you so people really understand it and get to know where we are coming from in this. Now, when you talk about the creative and cultural industries, there are different parts. One, there's what we call the culture and natural heritage. There's performance and celebration. There's visual arts and crafts. There's books and press. There's audiovisual and interactive media. There's design and creative services.
Yeah.
Beneath this point, there are various other sub-points as well. So when you come to, for instance, the culture and natural heritage, you have the museums, including the virtual ones.
So you're telling us that in your analysis of the creative, what you call the creative economy, you're adding culture, right? Because some of us will find that culture in itself is broad enough.
It's connected.
So yours is creative and cultural industry.
No,
it's creative and culture ministry.
So that's why I'm comfortable saying the creative economy, because it's all encompassing.
Okay.
Because but I get it that because it's a new lexicon, even across the world. UNCTAD, for instance, has begun to refer to it as a creative economy because it's all encompassing, referring to all these other platforms. But the point has to be made that from a policy perspective, it needs to be prioritized and to be able to be enabled from the top. For instance, when you make a promise that you want to, from an educational point, you make a promise that you want to upgrade NAFT to come with the necessary investment that it will come for.
Yeah.
The idea behind it is not necessarily also it's not only because of the fact that you recognize that without thought leadership and scholarship, we can't develop industry. But most importantly, it should be tied to an overarching goal of wanting to improve and enable industry. And in the ways it's always worked, the agencies have always been executing agencies. So from a policy side, it's zero. So if you want a ministry, we understand that the media generally is divided around 2 ministries currently, right? There's a Ministry of Communications part, which has an agency called the NCA, which overlooks the licensing regime for media. Then there's NMC. NMC now, I think, should be under Information Ministry, right? Which ordinarily, or ideally in the ways it's been designed, should overlook content or media management in a particular way, right? Yeah. But which ministry, for instance, should be or will be responsible to sponsor or push through for the Broadcasting Act, Broadcasting Bill, for instance? What is the overarching policy from the state side in terms of having to develop the Broadcasting Bill? What would inform the need to create a media development fund, for instance, which are some of the things that we promise? So we sit from the top and look at it and say, look, there are various problems that with this one single policy and a media development fund, you can enable the media industry relative to it. For instance,
hold on there, because you are giving us a lot of information, and because we just went creative.
Okay, so
and out of that creative, we have 2 hours. Don't worry. Out of that creative,
not for only this.
Yes, not for only this, definitely. But we'll come back to him. Out of that creative ministry that you want to create, we've had culture, we've had media, and these are broad. Yes. Rock solid. So hold on. So because now that is where I go to Rasta before I come to Uncle Ken. Rasta, in very quick summary. I should summarize that. No. I mean, be very brief with your submission so we come.
Not a presidential.
No. Patience. Now I am listening to Sadiq. I am listening. You know. I am listening. Hold on, gentlemen. I'm listening to Sadiq, and I am hearing things that are beginning to scare me. Now, Rasta, are you with me?
Too much.
Okay, so I'm beginning to wonder. Listening to Sadiq, doesn't it just sound like just another campaign promise? Because if we are already complaining that the Ministry of Tourism is already overwhelmed, That is the reason they are not giving creative arts the attention that it needs. So for that reason, we want to create a creative arts ministry separate of the Ministry of Tourism. And under that creative arts ministry, we are going to focus on media, we are going to focus on culture and all those things, like he's saying.
So you are not getting
Don't you see it as just a promise in future? Because eventually we get back to the same thing.
You didn't let me land, so you didn't get it.
So we didn't get it. Don't worry, when we come back to you quickly, we'll come back.
You would have crash land.
Yeah, okay. Rasta, let's go quickly, please.
I think that Sadiq has missed his own voice, so he got carried away hearing himself speak. Because listen, I, even before Professor Atamils assumed office, when the NDC, that the same conversation was raging, I was like, myself and people like Rexoma and others disagreed that we needed a designated ministry for us.
Wait a minute, you mean the Rexoma?
Oh, listen, he's always been a crusader for what we stand for. The fact that he's NDC, and so there's nothing to be ashamed of, and it's not like it is wrong. Now, Sadiq, you see, when you speak to creative economy, it's not like you and Dramani Mahama, president, has invented anything from NASA. And if you would permit me, you see,
I'm waiting for you to make the point.
Yes.
Or should we go and come? Or you're looking for something?
No, I just want to be coherent.
Okay.
You see, the reason he cited the data that he chanced on social media, for instance, to buttress the point that there's a sort of a bastardized, in quotes, unit of creatives who are not being catered for, and if a ministry is instituted to properly see to the needs of creative economy, then they would be captured, and then listen. What he doesn't know, or what he's refusing to capture in his sermon, is the persons that nearly 1 million artisans that he mentions are properly, just like any other facet of the Ghanaian economy, are properly captured under the Ministry of Trade and Industry.
Okay.
These are persons who are properly organized. They do not joke with. Listen, even when we are speaking to divisions or sectors under the creative industry, some of us go like, even the carvers in Ebri and whatnot have been left to their fate. It is not true. Under the Ministry of Trade and Industry, these people travel the world exhibiting their wares. But
wait, hold on, sorry. Okay. I interrupted Sadiq, so in all fairness, let me interrupt you too very quickly. That does not take away from the fact that they ideally should also be under the Ministry of the Creative Space. You understand? Let's not make it look like what Sadiq is saying is just, he's trying to throw dust in our eyes. But that is a fact.
Even you, the host, you drink soup. You said something which is very instructive on the conversation. I said, does this not look like a campaign promise? Because on both sides of the political divide, under the Fourth Republic, we've had enough things to make a whole hymnal when it comes to the creative arts industry. We are living through one. My own MPP promised theaters. We haven't seen them. Okay, so it is nothing new if Sadiq is telling me that I should give him my vote, because I am saying that he cannot look at me in the face, like my gray hair, and tell me that I should vote for him, because it is clear that they are just singing another tune, another chapter, which will come to naught. And it is not him that I voted for, so I cannot hold him
responsible.
Now,
let us come to Uncle. Yeah.
If we are speaking to creatives, then the creative industry, for instance, economy, should encompass footballers, because they use art, they use skill, apprenticeship, they require a lot of talent.
You're going into a different space because that's in other exactly. A lot of places have put them together. Creative Barbados, for instance, they have the Minister for Creative Economy and Sport. Even the UK, exactly.
Yes, so creativity has no bounds. I mean, if you want to stretch it, you could go all over. But if we are saying that we do not need a whole ministry, and in fact, that's the reason or what the conversation is, or this discussion is about. I am saying that I do not think, and I've held that position forever.
We need a separate. Thank you, my brother. Uncle Ken, let's hear you, then we'll go to Jesse.
Yes, I'm glad we're leaving the final cut to Jesse.
Oh, I just went this way.
Listen, I told you before, Sadiq, that I was privileged to be invited by the Minister for the then Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts Ministry when it was set up. I was privileged to be invited to her office with a few industry folks to just chat. And my first question to her was how what I intended to let her know from my point of view was the fact that that ministry was too large for her to control. Because tourism by itself is not an easy thing to, deal with. Then you add culture and you add creative arts as they did them time. So I was not surprised that it took them so long to be able to get settled in that office, to the extent that a bill that had taken 20 years to deliberate on got passed in the last year of the NDC leaving office. The whole 8 years that they came to meet the bill, it took them the last year to pass that bill into an act. I'm talking about the Development of Film and Classification Act. Okay? And in the last quarter of their term, that's when they passed that bill and got it assented on the 16th of December by the President. So effectively, there was nothing that could be done about that act to get it operationalized until the following year. Now, if it took that length of time for you to do that, somebody else comes to take over and maybe does not see that as an immediate thing to execute. This is the problem that we are having. I am saying that even though I was for a separate ministry, if you set up this ministry, it means that everything has to start again from scratch. Paperwork, logistics, you need to be changing the two ministries' paperwork. Because the other one has to leave out the creatives from its letterhead and all that. And in this country of ours, how long it takes us to get these things running. That is my only worry. Because if it had happened 8 years ago, we would have strengthened by now and be on a good thing.
But Uncle Ken, again, just like I did with everybody else, let me interact. Didn't the NPP successfully create new ministries and they are up and running?
Which one?
Ministry of Zongo Development and all those ones. How long did it take to create them and get them up and running? I mean, Real and others. Special.
Yes, George, but you're not getting the point I'm making. The Zongo Development Ministry is entirely new. So it was not. Hold on. It was not attached to any other ministry. What I am saying is, when you create this new ministry,
but you need development was
hold on.
Yes,
you need to touch the other ministry from which it came. You need to touch that ministry because now all paperwork, all letterheads and things need to be changed.
But Uncle Ken, isn't it easier to cut an umbilical cord than to mend it?
Okay, so it can happen. But I am just looking at the way we do things in this country.
Here. Well, I get you.
And the length of time it takes us to do certain things. That is my worry. Because otherwise, it will be a brilliant idea. But then, let me pose a question to Sadiq. Sadiq, currently, under which ministry is NAFTI?
NAFTI is under Information Ministry now. At a certain point, Communications Ministry by now Information.
What about
Shouldn't
education?
it even be an education? Exactly.
Yeah.
So that
you see,
it's also because because
now,
you ask Again, if you
yeah.
give me just a minute before you go on, it's also because
and
of the
family
history.
time, and now pick us out.
Okay, that's fine.
Who the cat?
No, Sadiq, go ahead.
It's also because of the history of NAFTI.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
NAFTI didn't start out as an out-and-out educational
Institution.
institution. They had started out from a government side of wanting to educate people
In
for
film.
the state broadcaster.
Okay.
You understand? So it's been under information
Train
ministry.
people for that.
Yes, it's been under information ministry. I mean, changing times, like I said again, changing times. At every point in time, whatever is relevant happens. At this point again, there's a new dispensation that is informing the direction, just like it's happening. I mean, along the way.
Okay.
So it's a work in progress.
So it's work in progress. Now, George.
Yes. Okay.
When I heard this thing, one of the things that I heard Sadiq speak on this NAPTI matter, and he said that it was going to incorporate performing arts. Did you not say that?
Yes, I
Yes,
heard that.
it was going to incorporate performing arts and all other, sectors
Sectors, yeah.
of
Yes.
that ministry, that industry. And then the first thing that came to mind, so what's going to happen to the Legon School of Performing Arts?
Interesting question.
You
Interesting
see,
question. But
it quickly came to mind and said, when we do these things, do we take I don't know if maybe they have consulted the Legon School of Performing Arts to now remove it from Legon and add it to the NAPTI project. I don't know.
Uncle
But
Ken,
these are issues that you
so
need to
in
think
summing
about.
up your point,
Yes.
where do you stand? Do you think Ghana needs a separate ministry for the creative arts? Because Rasta made it clearly that he thinks it's just another campaign promise that they have no hope of delivering on.
If we can,
Oh.
if we
I
can,
said it was a waste.
A waste of time. Okay.
But
yeah.
if we can put all these people together and keep them under one ministry, maybe it will help.
So
Because as it stands now, they're all under different ministries. You just said to yourself that the tailors, some of them are even under Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Do you know that?
yes.
Because of the promotion of their goods outside and things, and then the Ministry of Trade.
But Uncle
also
Ken, you
has
see, I
these
think
things.
where we are missing the point is, are they under the Ministry of Trade, or do they have engagement with that ministry? Those are the fine things that we need to look at. Because yes, let's bring this into the conversation. Yes.
I just want to chip in a little bit.
No. I mean, it's your time, so after chipping in, you can go on with
take
your
a look
thoughts.
at the various ministerial websites. Let me give you a classical example.
Yeah.
On the Ministry of Finance's website, you would see the finance ministry's agencies.
Yeah.
And the agencies, I've listed them here as GRA, Controller, Institute of Accounting, Financial Intelligence, SEC, National Lottery, Ghana Infrastructure Fund, and PPA. Then below that, you would see something like affiliated institutions.
Correct.
Which is a BOG.
Yeah.
Now, the BOG is critical to the finance ministry, but it's not an agency under the finance ministry.
Exactly.
So for me, I'm less concerned about defining whether something is an affiliation or an agency. My biggest question is it working? And if it's not working, how do you fix it? You said it's my time to speak.
Exactly. Go ahead. Yeah.
So, in a nutshell, I don't believe in setting up ministries for setting up sake.
Okay.
Unless you believe, like in a country like Ghana, that establishment of the ministry should add some peculiar value, which the existing infrastructure is not able to add. So when the Zongo ministry was set up, it was set up to address what you might call a poverty need.
Exactly.
And give it a particular focus. So if you decide to set up a creative industry, for me, I would love to see, instead of addressing a social need, I see it more like adding up to the GDP or adding up to our revenue growth. And therefore, the conversation from a Sadiq side, for me, should probably say that we need to have some data, some qualitative data that says that we are estimating that the creative industry could potentially, as of now, be generating about, say, X%. And therefore, by separating it from the main hive, we are able to deliver X in terms X in incremental. Anything short of that becomes an emotional conversation. Now, let's go back a little bit to how we as a country have taken the creative arts seriously. Prep school, creative arts is a hobby. BEC, it's a hobby. Secondary school, if you're brilliant and you decide to go into the arts, you are convinced not to do the arts.
I got that.
Yes, and then you are told to go and do the sciences. So from an educational construct perspective, we've always seen the arts as that subject in the corner somewhere.
What were concert for?
In the university, look, I read political science major and a linguistics minor. When I met my peers who read economics in the University of Ghana, I was made to feel like, Charlie, I should be a veranda boy. And if I ever met a George Quaye at the University of Ghana reading drama and dance, because when you're serious,
you were calling it dondology.
Exactly my point. So, from our educational construct perspective, we've treated it as that thing in the corner. Now, when you are done with that, suddenly you finish school, you need to work, and you're in government now, and you were expecting something that has been put in the corner for so long to now be giving, boom, a priority. So for me, the baseline for fixing the problem is to ensure that we are giving priority to it within the schools. That's number one. Number two, again, I'm starting from the hygiene issues. Go to the website of the Ministry of Creative Arts Tourism. You see a minister there, Barbara Jesse, fantastic lady. Then you see a deputy minister, Ziblim Barry, ED. Cool, I think he's an elderly person.
We don't know him much.
Then you see a chief director, John Yao Agbeko. Now, guess what? It's a creative industry. You need some degree of flexibility, innovation. You know, you need to have some depth of what the future would look like. So one of the first things I would ask for is the type of leadership we have leading the ministry. That's number one. Number two, if you go to the same website, focus should not mean exclusion. But it seems as if the ministry's focus on tourism is excluding the creative arts industry.
That was what led the NDC.
Yes, I'll come to that.
Question
is this: why wouldn't they exclude it? Now, what are the agencies under the Ministry of Communication? NCA, Meteorological Services, GIFEC, Data Protection Agency, Ghana Post, Kofi Annan Center, Postal and Courier Regulatory Commission, and NITA.
And then the new one now, cyber security.
Now, according to data online, 48% of Ghanaians are within the rural areas. That number is bigger than the number Siddiq is speaking about. However, in addressing the telecommunication needs in the rural area, you didn't create a ministry for that. You are using GIFEC as an agency to address and bridge the gap there. So if you have a properly functioning agency, which is set up by an act of parliament, which has the power to build the budget and execute the budget, you don't need a ministry.
So you're talking Creative Arts Council in this case?
No, see, I don't even need a council.
It might not have to be the
George,
council.
See, to be honest, look, stop talking about council. Let me give you an example. The finance ministry believes that it needs to raise money. So we have National Lottery Authority, and it's been empowered to be able to build budget and do business. So the NLA has targets that it is chasing. I don't care about commissions and councils and committees. They are irrelevant in this equation now, because what Siddiq is looking for is a body that has the power to do business.
An authority.
Good. Now, leave the communication ministries, because if Esla says, look, let's go and build base stations in the rural areas, she doesn't need a commission. She's got GIFEC to do that, and she can sleep easy. If a Maneboama needs that, he knows exactly what to do. Now, let me take you to your creative arts in the industry. You probably have one of the longest agencies under any ministry in this country.
Hallelujah.
One, Ghana Tourism Development Authority.
Authority. For
tourism, not creative arts.
No, I'm reading the agency.
What is there?
Ghana Tourism
Authority.
Pan-African Writers. National Folklore.
Du Bois Center.
Du Bois. Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. National Theatre. Ghana Museums. Bureau of Languages. National Commission on Culture. Hotel Catering and Tourism Institute. Ghana Tourism Authority. It is there. Now, question is this: which of these guys here have the power to change the creative arts in the industry?
None.
You're here. You guys are in the industry. I'm not there.
None.
Now, for you to be able to read about the National Film Authority or National Film Institute or whatever, I have to click on National Folklore. Go down, and when you go there, there's no institution you are being pointed to. There's a story of what Ghana's film industry is supposed to be. Now, that doesn't work. The only way you can change and achieve what he's trying to do is to have an agency that is mandated. It has a chief executive. It has structures in place. And the biggest question the agency must answer is this: if I pick creative arts, what are the top 4 things that would change your industry? Siddiq, mention one.
I mean,
focus area.
tax breaks.
No, I
in
like
terms of
maybe
area.
music or entertainment or
Music,
anything else.
film,
No, just
fashion.
one. Just one. Music.
So music.
Yes, sir. Film. Yes, sir.
Theater.
Theater, yes.
So
I'll
if
go
you
with
say
George.
to me, as an example, that these are the 3 biggest revenue buckets, focus a creative industry on that, and build an agency that can work with a clear focus. Now, without that, you are just running amok. Now, my challenge is this. If you set up a creative arts ministry, you would fail. And I'll tell you why you would fail. I've listened to many of the guys within the creative arts industry.
Hold on. Please, if you know anybody in the NDC, tell them to tune in. Justice says the creative art ministry will fail. So they should tune in now. This part is very important. Please go ahead.
Okay, let me rephrase it for the people.
Okay.
If you form a creative arts ministry,
Yeah.
without adding some layers to it, you would fail.
Clearly.
Let me explain why. You will listen to Socrates. So his name is Socrates.
Socrates.
Right?
Socrates.
Socrates. Say,
Socrates.
and I mean the proposal no koye. Me the koye no omonya mami. Question is who's supposed to do it for you?
Right.
Government work is a very complex job. Getting money from government is not easy. The kind of lobbying you must go through, the process for government dealings is not an easy one.
No.
And therefore, if you set up creative arts ministry alone, what are the affiliating agencies, the ministries they must work with, George? One, they have to go back to the tourism ministry for an affiliation. They have to work with them. Then they need to go and deal with the trade ministry.
Work with all the ministries.
Yeah, you see, and you see, you make you make the conversation a little bit very complex.
Yeah.
So my thinking is this: don't take yourself through the process. Have your creative arts ministry people understand that the government job is not it's not an emotional one. That when you do proposals, it must be agreed upon. Now, let me ask any of you here. When the MPP said that they want to build studios across the country, what was the implementing agency? You are MPP.
Who? Uncle Ken, you mean?
Uncle Ken and George.
When I'm seated
when
here,
the MPP
I am
said that they will be building,
I am not partisan when I'm in this.
You can't stand before, so let me ask you.
But in this
No. George, when the MPP said that they want to build studios across the country, what was the implementing agency?
I have no idea. It should have been the Ministry of Tourism.
They want to build studios across the country.
It's the Ministry of Tourism.
No, what's the implementing agency?
But the implementing agents, hold on.
They wanted the interim.
You see, I don't want guesses.
That is where the problem is.
Time no day. It is the favor of God ministry.
Because there's not been the structure. Because Mark and the interim creative arts council took the lead.
Yes.
That's where, of course, we had the guess that it's Mark and
Sadiq, hold on.
Because
I think where Jesse is going is that to start with, Mark's office has no authority to be working with. So technically, that office does not exist.
Hold on.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming to that point. If you remember,
Yeah.
I think it was last week or the week before
At that meeting.
that I said that the way we are going with the parties and each party coming up with a manifesto and this one coming up with his and we banging our heads together,
Yeah.
what we needed was to establish and make sure legislation was in place
Exactly.
for the Creative Arts Agency,
Yeah.
which is what the bill is supposed to do. Looking for.
The creative arts industry bill, for instance, would all be sponsored by these parties.
Hold on.
So these parties, in order for you to gauge the commitment of the parties when they come to government to fix a particular sector, it will come down to some of these promises.
Yes.
So
But
if the promise to really pursue that legislation is not there, what do you hold them to?
Sadiq, you see why I always say I'm happy when Jesse comes to the studio. Because today he's just broadened my horizon. Where this industry is concerned.
Uncle Ken,
opening statement.
Uncle Ken, hold on. Let's so that we can
finally from where I said, right?
Yeah.
Let's go to the government. Let's go to the Ministry of Creative Arts and Tourism and
Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts.
Yes. Let's go to that website. Read their mission, read their vision, and go through it, and you would understand that the concept of creative art is almost
zero. It's tourism.
Now,
essentially.
next, go to the Nigerian Ministry's website.
Yeah.
The website is promoting Nigerian musicians.
Yes.
It's and one of the good things that I saw on our website is that we were promoting our food, so which is good, and we are promoting our artifacts, and which is good.
Right.
But Nigeria realizes that the revenue drivers is not the beads I am wearing. It's in Peju Babyface. It is in the video. So they are pushing that particular agenda. Now, if you go to our website today,
I saw a crocodile.
You saw where?
A crocodile on our
Ghana's
website. Yeah, but the crocodile.
I guess you recognize that it came from the overarching point.
Yes,
agreed. But the agency doesn't start the policy and execute it.
Sadiq, my point is this: we are desperate for solutions now.
Yes.
If you have a problem to fix, Sadiq, don't start from ministry level, especially for a creative arts sector that exists and is hungry to deliver things. Let's take a look at the act that you say has been passed.
Act 935.
Take a look at it and see whether there's an agency being set up for creative arts industry.
Jesse, can you please send Sadiq a voice note of this so that he can forward it to
No, I'm not saying.
But it doesn't mean that we agree with them.
I'm not saying that.
This is your boss.
No. I'm not.
Gentlemen, hold on.
I think because I know Rasta
likes to trivialize this.
No. I'm just saying that before you get to a ministerial level, let's fix clear and present danger. The problem now is that the sector itself must define what its big rocks are. Right. When you define your big rocks, let's force the system to give us a proper structure. Instead of, I'm not saying that the museums and things are not important. They are important. Yeah, but what are the biggest revenue drivers today? Have an agency for that. Then maybe in about 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or so, we form ourselves into like a big mini ministry. But look, for me, I think that might be the way to go. If you ask me.
Your opinion. No, Uncle Sam says you have sense. So I want you to send it.
Rasta, wake up.
No, but
let me invite our listeners into the conversation. Our WhatsApp line is 055-1111-997. That's our WhatsApp line, 055-1111-997. And on this particular topic, before we round up, we'll take about 3 calls before we move on to the next topic. So be on standby. We'll open the phone lines at some point so you can all contribute. Yes, Sadiq. Jesse, did you land? Friendly on that one. Generally, we'll come again, and then we'll
George, again,
Sadiq, while you gather your thoughts,
I got it.
Very quickly, hold on. Jesse mentioned something about our ministry. I went to the website and I've seen mandate. It says the ministry is to facilitate the interface between government, implementing bodies in tourism, culture, and creative industries, as well as international civil society partners. And then vision. The vision of the ministry is to develop sustainable tourism pivoted on Ghanaian culture and creative arts as a key to accelerated national development. Now, mission. The ministry exists to create a conducive environment for sustaining growth and development of the sector, to enable it contribute enormously to GDP through effective and efficient use of appropriate policies, plans, programs, and projects. It is also to develop, sustain public-private partnerships with the diaspora for resource mobilization and investment.
Yeah. George,
I don't understand.
You don't?
The last one I don't understand.
Okay. You didn't let me. I wanted to end on something that Jesse said about leadership.
After you, we'll go to Sadiq right after you.
Leadership of the ministry.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you realize he raised that issue?
Yeah.
Now, he mentioned the minister, the deputy minister,
and the chief director,
and then you ask yourself, how well versed are all these people in matters related to the ministry? I think that's also one very important.
Because just on the back of that, if you go to say the Ministry of Energy,
right,
you have a deputy minister in charge of power.
Yes.
You have a deputy minister in charge of maybe something different. You go to education, there's deputy minister in charge of say tertiary. Then there's deputy minister in charge of a different thing. Now, if I come to creative arts and your ministry is tourism, creative arts, break it into two, and say there's a deputy minister in charge of creative arts. Deputy minister in charge of tourism. Leave it at that.
Yes.
Because when you have the ministers like that, right, then every deputy minister has a focus.
Right.
And that minister forces the agencies under them to work. Because you see,
but Jesse, we've lived that before.
No, even that we have that for finance.
Yes.
We had Madam
Yes.
So on paper,
supposed to she was. She was a deputy minister.
We're not speaking to making ceremonial appearances. So we're looking at
the problem. She was not specifically for creative arts.
That's the thing. She was
not.
You just assume she was.
For the whole ministry.
Look, this is the point.
You assume different.
No. I'm saying that
on paper. I think what they're saying is that on paper, she was not designated to focus on creative arts per se.
I mean,
however, her natural disposition, so she endeared herself more. Hold on,
but you see,
you're not getting it.
Rasta. The deputy ministers will tell you that, look, to a large extent, the things they do is informed as well from their bosses. Of course. Even in instances where, for instance, like the current finance ministry, currently, all the various different ministers have specific there's somebody in charge of revenue agencies, there's somebody in charge of
the deputy minister.
Currently, currently. But regardless of it, they still take their power and what to do
from the
top.
Absolutely.
So this is what happens. In a case where you have the tourism, for instance, swallowing everything, and also because it has a more structured landscape, right? And so it's easier to achieve KPIs from there and use that to impact the GDP.
Exactly.
And there's entire ministry's focus there. You would have to toe the line of a minister in achieving these particular targets. Of course, and that is what informed where we are coming. Look, Jesse just spoke about, the agency and everything. He cited Nigeria. Good case. And I'm glad I know the reason why he cited Nigeria, because in looking at these things, you cannot overlook the case studies in various different countries.
No, you can't.
In Nigeria, again, the policy from the top, mind you, all these agencies that you're talking about are implementing agencies. If the Ministry of Communication does not say as a matter of policy that we want to enhance data coverage in the country, and so because of that, we would like to lay fiber optic cable across the Eastern Corridor, for instance, right? It will not come down to either NITA or anybody to do. They have to determine it from the top, and that overarching policy should connect to everybody. For instance, they would say that maybe the telcos do not have the investment to be able to drive that. So in order to open up and ensure that these telcos leverage this digital infrastructure that they are putting in to, as it were, create more value and then expand, they would, as a matter of policy, do it from the top. So I'm coming. Bring it down. Bring it down. Connect it to the ministry perspective.
So you're saying Uncle Ken, let him learn.
Yeah, I'm saying that
to correct
just so I don't miss. Yeah, just so I don't miss.
Uncle Ken, let him learn.
I'm saying that just like what Jesse saying, and cited the Ministry of Communication, the policy. It's clear from the top, and so the implementing agencies, you know who he goes to. In this particular case, even the narrative of creative arts within governance circles is zero. So to correct, so one of the first things you do in doing that is elevating the narrative and connect it. I'm glad that Jesse, for instance, connected it and say, give me pointers, numbers. I'm excited because I've got that. So if now the conversation is that, okay, on the basis of projections here, you have these particular numbers and you want to impact the GDP from this particular point perspective. And so as a matter of policy, we need to prioritize certain things to open up. And you see, the key word here, what policy does is, aside the impact includes, right, helping to create more wealth. Most important, because ordinarily and naturally, when you create more wealth in society, there are few good things that happen, including having to expand, create now we as a party, all these things are connected to our overarching objective of having to create more jobs.
Agree.
So in order to do that, and that's what it was. Okay, because I'm not landed.
Sadiq, don't worry, land. In order to do that,
so go to Nigeria, for instance. The more reason why you go to the ministry, when you go to the ministry, you see that is that there are specific creative industry ministries connecting to the federal commissioners. So when you go to Lagos, there's somebody, what's the guy's name? There's somebody in charge, as a commissioner, in charge of the creativeness. He's like a minister of the state.
Fantastic.
Okay. Beyond that, then there's the agencies under them. So from the federal states even policy. So picking inspiration from the top, which is the national federal territory or whatever they call it, there's a certain clear focus that, okay, this is it. The entertainment industry, how did Nigeria come about and realize that the entertainment or the creative industry is the second biggest employer in Nigeria? I'm just giving you some numbers. I'll indicate to you if I get it. Okay, you just
I just want to ask you a question before. So after all that you've enumerated, you are saying to us,
that is important in the creative ministry.
There is a need for a separate ministry.
There is a need for a separate ministry. That's what you want to say. Because
that's what I'm saying.
Decisions can be taken from the top.
Because again, Uncle Ken, what we all do not realize here is that the agencies do not pursue the policy.
They don't. Sadiq, I think you've made the point. I think you've made the point. Let's bring Jesse into it. Sadiq, you've made the point. Just coming quickly, then we can open the phone line.
My belief is this.
Yeah.
The creative arts industry is one of the strongest and the most powerful people ever. Yes,
government circles do not know that.
I'm saying
yes, one voice.
The creative industry is the most powerful.
Yes.
However, you have non-existent lobbies.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, but
Adekam,
okay, when you're done.
You probably have some of the weakest lobbies ever.
Yeah.
And therefore, influencing change becomes a difficult. Now, you said policy must come from the top. Indeed, policy comes from the down. If political leadership
is informed from the down,
I get it. Like if I pick the NDC, you did something fantastic that I love from the very beginning. You're building a manifesto from a people's perspective.
Yeah.
So the people say we want jobs, we want studios. Not the people didn't ask for ministry per se.
Yeah.
What the people may have asked for is that we want a focus on creative arts. We want to be able to do music and movies and blah 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 blah. The people gave you things. Now, if for instance John's mandate, forgive me, His Excellency, John decides that I'm making the creative arts industry my forte and a monkey for me, like a big monkey for me. Like my previous boss would say, everybody must deal with their monkeys. It becomes a priority. Once it becomes a priority, when the ministry is submitting its budget for consideration, you cannot have a priority and not budget for it.
Exactly.
Now, if the creative industry does not have a budget, or you don't have an agency that has built a budget going through the process, the finance ministry gives you nothing. And that's the process. Budget is built from the ground, not the top.
Yes.
So all I am saying is this: that, look, you can have a ministry. I'm a big fan of having a ministry if the numbers make sense. So have a ministry. But I'm just saying that the present problem you need to fix, shaping the system, is to ensure that we have an agency from where I sit that has a focus with a chief executive officer who is doing its job.
Okay, so have you forgotten?
Hold on. Let's go to Rasta. You have any thoughts on what the lobbying part? No, hold on. We'll come to it. Don't worry. Yes, yeah.
Relax. You see, Jesse, I'm also glad you are here.
MVP need a sweet time say.
Oh, Sadiq, no, not at all. Yes.
When Sadiq was preaching,
yeah,
I was like, and then you went and then. Ready for Jesse.
If we are for you, no, but you know say anything. You know that allow me to just listen. Sorry about it.
Jesse, you mentioned something that I just briefly want to touch on. That when they decided to come and tell us that we need a creative
ministry.
Yeah. It's not like people told them from the grassroots. Okay. And that. Their manifesto is a people's manifesto and all that. I'm saying that you should be careful. These are hard times. Maybe from where Sadiq and his people are coming from, they told them specifically that they should go and create a ministry. So they are creating it. Listen, we are saying that ministry, we are faced with issues that come directly under ministries. We have even increased the number of ministries, and we still are very close to the situation. The dire situation that we're in. So again, if we want to alleviate poverty, if we want to create jobs, listen, we're already working. One of the biggest adverts this creative economy has donated to Ghana in the year of return, for instance, was when Sarkodie went on BET platform and asked people out there to come
to visit Ghana.
We couldn't have budgeted for that. We couldn't have paid for that. The memos you go send up before somebody, that's how potent and effective practitioners and agents under the creative industry are by ourselves.
So you, in summary, don't think we need a separate ministry?
We do not need a ministry.
Uncle
we
Ken,
need strengthening in agents.
Uncle Ken, are you with me? In summary, just one word. Do we need it or not? Yes or no, in your perspective? Listening to the argument so far across the table.
After listening to both Sadiq and Jesse making such a very, very, very valid point.
You're on the fence.
I am not on the fence. I think that I would agree with Jesse that we do not need the ministry, because if the agency is legalized, and steeped into law, it can achieve that objective.
But asking you a quick question on that one. Don't you think that from Sadiq's perspective, a ministry carries more weight, stronger power and authority to be able to deliver on what you need?
Not on this instance. Do you realize that once upon a time we had the whole Ministry for Culture? How potent was that ministry?
Sadiq, in your opinion,
are you not answering?
No. You made your point through that question. In your opinion, do you think the problem, like Jesse enumerated earlier, is one of the need for a structure, a whole structure like a ministry, or the need for potent leaders in the various agencies beneath?
So one of the things the ministry
structure
does is to harmonize the sector and provide that leading light to all the sectors.
Yeah.
So to that extent, you see, when I started to open it up to let you understand the scope of the creative industry, you are now getting it. Why? Because we are having a conversation about the creative ministry.
Yeah.
So point one, Jesse spoke about the lack of lobbying. If you recognize in the house, for instance...
Hold on. You continue. 0302-216-541, 0302-216-541. You can be a part of our conversation. But if
I understand, for instance, how, the enactment of laws go, just sometimes there are sponsoring ministries who pursue certain specific things. And so we'll probably even take it to cabinet, discuss it from cabinet, push through with it, get it down to come down to parliament and push through some of these things. Often, as is the case, the agencies are not able to do that. It takes the ministries. It takes the ministries to actually even spend time lobbying parliament to understand some of these things. And that is it. If you take the agriculture ministry, for instance, lots of promises, lot of initiatives, jobs planting for food and whatever. If there was any law that was supposed to come or any bill to help it, if there was any fund that they were supposed to get into any PPP that parliament has to approve and all of those things, the sponsoring ministry in this case, because it's a matter of policy, will be the agriculture ministry. So I've just indicated...
that's the way it's supposed to work.
Uncle Ken, hold on, let him land. Uncle Ken, let him land. Uncle Ken, we need to allow him to land. If we interrupt, he will lose his train of thought. No, Uncle Ken, allow him to land. Uncle Ken, allow him to land. No, but let's allow him to land first. Let's allow him to land first. I think in all fairness, we should allow him to land.
That is supposed to, if I land,
please land.
I'll get to that point.
Please land.
And I'm saying that I've indicated to you that because the priority of the current ministry, also because it has a more structured landscape, which is tourism, is there, and there's a more focus on that. As a matter of policy, the things that they will pursue will be tourism related. When you cut it away and put it together from that particular side and having them is, look, while has been Uncle Ken just said it rightly here that the Film Development and Classification Bill took a longer time for it to be passed in Parliament. This is some of those problems. We've got a broadcasting bill, for instance, that has taken forever.
Yes, you made that point earlier. But hold on one sec. Let me go to the phone lines because you made that point and it's clear. Hello, let's see who we have here. Hello.
Hello, George.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling us from, please. Please talk to us, Oti.
I think we don't need a ministry. If you become the deputy minister for the both tourism and it's okay, and the directors and departments are necessary need, because if you're going to get a ministry, I say we are plenty. We have tailors, architects, a lot. All of them would demand their what? Their ministers.
Exactly.
And the ministers will be huge. So if we directed, if the director goes here, see this, it's okay. And the minister is one. All the department minister will come. These are focused. And bring out and hatch out something. And so because all the ministry, we have like, the creators, we have like 10 ministries. Because we are huge. The tailors will demand a minister. The sculptures and staff will demand a minister. Everyone would demand a minister. So if we create, we not stop. So tourism, because if you go any place, the tourism go with creative arts.
Yeah.
You can't go any tourism area. You don't need a creative art. If you go and use actors who can ask for you to watch, it's go together.
Okay.
Formally, like sports always go with the school. If you're going to school, you have to learn how to do the sporting in the school, everything. So it's in collaboration with something. You can't just go. It's like you have to do.
Thank you very much, Oti. Thank you very much. You couldn't have been clearer. Thank you very much. And let's see who we have here. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Name and where you're calling us from, please.
I'm Kwesi from Accra.
Kwesi, talk to us.
To be precise. Yeah, I think that if you look at the size, I've been listening to the conversation. Now, when you look at the size, okay, of the creative industry, it will actually be a game changer if you could have a dedicated ministry focused, fighting for their own people, and actually trying to achieve something. So if you have somebody you can directly hold responsible for activities or for numbers in that ministry, I think it will be a game changer. So I think that the NDC's proposition of setting up a ministry to actually take care of that space is will actually be a game changer, because there you have somebody who is fighting for what they are going to earn, and I think it's a good idea, which I support.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, calm down. We'll take one more call and then we'll come back to the studio. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Name and where you're calling us from, please.
Yeah, this is Koku Mauli Nanebe.
Koku, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, afternoon to Sadiq and all the team. But I must say that, you see, we have a ministry that looks omnibus. And the development in that ministry, as we speak, is very huge, cumbersome. And as to how to get around it, it's difficult. And the indication is that the area of creative arts and digital economy, particularly the digital economy, it is something new that is emerging.
Yeah.
We are seeing it done somewhere else. So where is the difficulty? I am for it that we need that ministry and with a minister with a focus. And like Sadiq said earlier, there are instances where you have a minister whose focus, regardless of what the minister has been set up for, but he's focusing more on the tourism sector, leaving the other areas. And sometimes if you do not take care, there are issues of challenges in as much as he's giving the roles to his deputies. So let's give this particular promise a careful thought and give them targets and see how the others are doing it in the Caribbean.
Perfect.
And so that in giving them that focus, in giving them that target to meet, we'll be able to make a much more better appreciation and impact development as far as it is concerned. But the way we appear to be bastardizing it, I am not for it, because it's an it looks omnibus, and we are struggling to make headway. So let's give them targets for us to give us results. That's all I have to add.
Thank you, my brother. And you heard voices from some of our listeners there. Let's come back to the studio, wrap it up on this one, and then we would go. I'll give Jesse and Sadiq the final. Sadiq, in 30 seconds, your final thoughts on this. Then
just off I was
give Jesse the last words.
Just sometimes as an industrial space, when you begin to gain the attention of political decision makers to the point where they're looking at doing bigger things to push it and to enable your space, that big narrative, if you depart from it, mind you, you've already been struggling to gain the attention in the ways you have now. If you depart from it and not do those big, hairy, audacious moves to enable it, you may not gain this opportunity again.
Good point. Jesse?
Fair. In my summary.
Yeah.
The ministry is called the Ministry of
Tourism, Arts and Culture at the moment.
Now, let it be the Ministry of Creative Arts, Tourism and Culture. Okay. Now, I'm just swapping it for sentimental sake. Change the focus of the ministry. Let 60% of their energies be focused on the creative arts. 2, find a minister who predominantly understands the future, because creative arts is the future.
Exactly.
Tourism is the path that we are carrying forward. Culture is reminding the world of what we used to be and what we are. The future is creative arts. So it is sad. I understand Sadiq, but it is sad to assume that the full ministry's job is to remember the past. And for me, it doesn't make sense. So if you feel like just to satisfy and find a compromise, George, just to ensure that the NDC is fine, NPP is fine, change the focus of the ministry. Let it be the Ministry of Creative Arts, Culture and Tourism. Whatever you want to do to it. Number 2, find ministers who understand the future of creative arts. Number 3, George, make sure that there are policies in place that facilitate the industry, the current ministry. And number 4, all this list you have here, which is Pan-African writers, national folklore, W.E. Du Bois, Kwame Nkrumah Park, national, all this list you have here, George, give me a big item that focuses on creative art. So that when you have the ministries focused on creative art, you have ministers, then deputy ministers who are focused on the two. Solid guys who, again, for me, are progressive. I don't want to say young, so I'm beaten. But ministers who are progressive and who are very sharp and very proper.
And they understand the industry.
And then you have the laws backing it. Plus, you have an implementing agency that understands how to build the budget. For me, George, change the existing ministry to focus on creative arts. Don't build a new one. Because if you build a new one, this will happen. The 1 million seed that's being given to tourism, creative arts, and culture, mathematically, they will cut it into two.
500.
Give you 300,000.
And give them 800.
And give them whatever.
You're not even getting zero.
Then when you apply for that 300,000 today, by the time finance minister, whether it will be Keno Foriata or it will be Covenant Dufour, one day will give you the money, it will be 80,000 Ghana cedi. You come back to this studio, I'm telling you. So let's just change the focus. Thank you.
Cut your plantain farm elsewhere. That is what I was referring to. That we have this CD market going, which was working well. There was nothing wrong with it. The problem with it was the distribution challenges that we could have fixed. Because if you give your songs to Kwesi Ernest to sell for you at Scatamanto, there was no system that you can check Kwesi Ernest. So musicians or those who were producing the music or the owners of the rights who were giving their songs or their works to these distributors were having challenges in getting their money back. Not as if the thing was not selling. So instead of we checking that anomaly in the system, we abandoned it.
There's still also a chunk of market which in years was yielding huge revenue to musicians. But then in our haste to jump onto the digital platforms, we have abandoned that market, which was providing much more or less like a quick money into the pocket of artists. Because with digital infrastructure, like Sadiq knows, you need to wait for 3 months of promoting a Quaye Million 6 months. As it is now, we are just spending. And then maybe by December, before somebody will print you a statement and say maybe you have sold $600 or $700. But then in those years, by this time, my shop Kantomanto, by this time, I can tell you that by this time I shall be able to sell 20,000 copies of the Famisi album. And that's what he is saying. There's a lot of sense, there's a lot of reason in it. I'm a product of it.
It is Showbiz A to Z.
Yo, my name is Bulldog from Bullhouse Entertainment, and I'm urging you to listen to Showbiz A to Z every Saturday 2 to 6 p.m.
It's gonna be a long journey. Will it ever change? Some have said that it's about time a lot of young people got into politics. A lot of young people, well, not just young people with great ideas, great vision, great understanding of situations, and a better foresight into the future. Maybe we should all get in there. This is Showbiz A to Z right here on Joy 99.7 FM. It's just gone after 5 p.m. 4 minutes past 5 p.m. Show's probably brought to you by Ghana's most reliable mobile telecommunications network, that's MTN. Do want to choose your own bundle your own way. With MTN Flexi Bundle, just dial *138# and enjoy bundles that do not expire. And of course, MTN is just still telling you to ensure you keep your mask on. If you don't keep that mask on, there's one thing we're gonna do. We go tell your mother. So, Director for Creative Arts at the National Commission on Culture, that is my brother Socrates Safo, in an interview on Happy FM has advised Ghanaian musicians not to relegate the traditional way of selling their music to the background by focusing only on selling their music digitally. According to him, there's a bigger market for CDs than the various digital platforms musicians subscribe to, and believes that digital platforms only exist to make money off musicians. He added that Ghanaian artists should promote CDs more than sit somewhere and promote their music in digital stores and complain people are not buying from the digital stores. So that's what we're going to be looking at next. It's pretty interesting, isn't it? Because on my own, I mean, gone are the days that when you're traveling, when you get to duty free, you see a lot of CD shops, CD selling here and there, even driving through traffic. Even when you go to Opera Square, the CD business was brisk, it was huge, but I don't see that anymore these days. So if Socrates Safo is still saying that musicians should still continue to focus there must be something he sees that the rest of us don't. Or what do you say, Kwame Rasta?
Have your advice on Ketiba, so be careful. You for your advice on Ketiba, so be careful.
Don't worry. We claim him. Mr. Socrates, wherever you are, good evening.
Yes, he responds. We'll see if we can call him. Lexus Bill also has a solid opinion on this one. We'll call him too.
What you have read, I trust what you have read.
You trust it, okay? So we don't have to call him.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead. What's your take on it?
Listen, there's nothing wrong with the bit of the Bible that is popularly tagged the Old Testament. You understand? It is part of the Bible. That is where Socrates Safo, the gentleman who produced Hot Fork.
Yeah, that movie.
Yes. That's where he's
FORK, fork, the one that's used in the kitchen.
That is your job.
Yes, just making it clear.
Yes. So, what's there to say about it other than to decry, considering his stature, and for him to have made those pronouncements quite clearly exposes his deficiencies when it comes to the creative economy and the future of it. So I would say a prayer for him. It will take more than a prayer, but I would say a prayer for that's the farthest I can go, because I have a lot of issues myself. And then wish and hope.
So you don't agree with him? That
how can you? Is that a rhetorical question? But
no, I just want to know your opinion.
In this present day and age, listen. I travel Ghana. Okay. Anybody who knows me knows I go around. Move.
Yes.
And
aimless. Go ahead.
At the point
Go ahead.
At the point and when I'm traveling, I buy records, especially Christian music, and when you start from the mountains down through the Eastern Corridor, all the way up north, down through Kintampo to Kumasi, I could count. I knew where the popular record shops were.
Where?
As we speak today, the record shops in Konongo and Kuforidia and Kintampo, there's only one. But those in Kuforidia and Konongo and Yendi have been shut. There's one in Nkoko.
There was or there is?
There's one still there, but phased out old stock.
Okay.
The only things he has on his shelves are old Nigerian movies and whatnot.
Okay.
I mean, primarily, what I'm saying is, it is a dinosaur. It is nearing extinction. And even gadgets that are being produced and shipped down here have stopped making ports for CDs.
Yeah.
So if you are in a position of power, if you are a Socrates Safo, and politically you've worked yourself into that spot or that perch where you inform policy and you speak to the future as per what government is supposed to do, and you are still stuck in the past, then I will say again that you need more than a prayer, but a prayer is all I can lend.
Uncle again.
Yeah. This is a topic that touches my heart. Because some of us are CD freaks.
I know you still play CDs when you come to the studios. Yeah, you still play CDs. Yeah.
Because I have a very large CD collection.
Yeah.
So are you telling me I should chuck them?
No.
I would want to play my CDs. While I'm playing the CD and the song is on and I'm enjoying the song, I read the liner notes and I get educated as to the artists that performed and all the production members and all that. It gives me added pleasure while I'm listening to the CDs. But I will be the last person to say that it has to be that way for everybody. You understand?
Yeah.
George, let me tell you something that happened. A couple of weeks ago, I was playing my CD, and after the second track, the CD player just stopped. I tried everything under the sun, and the player would not work. So I have had that Sony CD player for so many years. So I thought, well, let me replace the CD player. I checked from all the major shops that I thought would have a CD player for me to purchase.
Yeah.
And none of them had.
Company Edra.
None of them had a CD player. The only people who said to me, listen, the only way we can help you out if you really do need a CD player is for you to buy a home theater. Because that comes
with a CD port.
With a CD port. I said, but I already have a home theater. All I want is a DVD player. He said, no, there's none in the system currently. Manufacturers have stopped making these gadgets. George, I was totally shocked. So you know what? I had to try some lungu areas. I went to Abosokai.
Yeah.
And I asked my spare parts dealer, I said, second-hand Niamapi. Binumu niha wamutong CD players. And he said, oh, Madame Fubi Tombi. So he directed me to a friend of his. And luckily when I got there... Oh, no.
Wait.
Luckily when I got there, he had home-used CD players. And then he had 2 brand new Sony CD players that he had, he told me, for the past 6 years and hadn't sold. I quickly bought the 2 of him because I said to myself, as for me, these are my CDs at home. I will continue playing them. Today I decided to call some movie producers in the north just to ask them how they're coping with the digital space because of this topic. I had a chat with a lady who's been a producer in Upper East, and she told me she's just finished a movie of hers. So I said, hey, what are you going to do with your movie that you've just finished? Are you also going to put it on the digital platform? And she said, oh, she already has a few movies on YouTube. But the problem she's had with YouTube is that YouTube have a certain limit that you should be able to get to before you can pick up payments. And unfortunately for her, all her movies there have not been able to get to that limit. So she's not been able to make any money from it. So the only way they are making money in the Upper East and the North and these days is to go and screen their movies in the hotels, just to take the money. So I asked her, do you think that you would need CD players for your old folks and people who do not have access to data and stuff like that? And she said, yes, but it's a problem because the CD players, she also told me that they are not being made anymore. So I see it as a big challenge only in our country, Ghana.
Okay.
Because outside there, they don't have these problems.
You mean outside there they are buying more CDs?
No,
oh.
I'm saying outside
okay, they can still, they are getting the equipment. Yes, they are all streaming,
they're
exactly.
All streaming
Sorry.
and doing those things.
Yeah.
But the problem, because the lady was saying to me that her mother, for instance, is so sad that she cannot watch the CDs, the films that she has anymore because she doesn't have a DVD player and that kind of thing, you know. So that's for me. That's why I say this matter. I'm happy I've been able to get 2 DVD players that I can store. And my other one got repaired, so I have something there, and I will keep playing my CDs until such a time that, you know, I can't.
Uncle Ken, there is one thing that you have in there, which is true, because some research that I did before this show indicated that when you were listening, vinyl and CDs actually do sound better than digital.
Of course.
They do sound better.
Course.
So those that are, Anyway, Jesse, I don't know what your thoughts are on this one.
So
Soccer says we should play CDs.
I'm not an expert here, but so I will try and dig into my crazy mode. This one I defer to Sadiq.
Yeah, this one is Sadiq.
Yeah.
Now, fact.
We'll start giving you figures.
Digital and streaming is top notch.
At the moment.
Fact.
Yeah.
Digital and streaming allows me to connect to markets beyond my boundary.
Right.
Truth.
Fact. Digital and streaming, I can track how much I am earning on the go without waiting for Bandex to tell me that you sold this and didn't sell that. Those days, Bandex was a big distributor.
Yeah, it's a distributor.
There was a company called Bandex.
Yeah, Bandex.
Still, good. And then, fact again, because I am online, it's easier for others to see me and call me for shows in different places.
Yeah.
So, from a value point of view, you would say that digital presents an opportunity for global reach than CDs.
Of course.
However, Socrates' point is what? That it makes financial sense
to sell CDs than to sell online.
See, on that line, like I said before the program started, I agree with him.
How do you agree with him?
So
and why do you agree
in my
with him?
lay mind, forgive me. Sadiq, if I am wrong, correct me and punch me. I was checking online to find out one of the topmost, highest albums ever sold. And the one of the albums I picked up was, I think the one that was in second place was Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah.
Now the conservative sales numbers was around 66 million.
Right.
And there, yes. And then there are those who put the number really at 130 million. Yeah. But let's hold the baseline. Let's do an average, George.
Yeah.
Of say 100 million albums were sold.
Yeah.
Now, again, if you come to today, Ed Sheeran's digital streaming, Shape of You, had 2.6 billion.
Yeah.
Now, when I pick the two figures, I'm just picking that. George, 2.6 billion.
Yeah.
So Michael Jackson's stance here says, I sold 100 million albums. Then the Ed Sheeran says, I sold 2.6 billion. Then Sadiq comes back to say, so what if you sold it?
Yeah.
Now, how much did Ed Sheeran make from streaming 2.6 billion?
Right.
7 million euro. Because he's been paid 0.0034 per streaming.
Per stream, yeah.
That's 7 million euro.
Yeah.
Now, let's even assume that Michael Jackson sold one CD for $1.
Yeah.
How much is that?
He made more.
$6 million.
He still made more.
Exactly. So, I'm just doing the conservative number. So, from a pure revenue conversation point of view, again, I'm just doing math, and I could be wrong. In terms of album sales, Mickey J, if he sold one CD for $1, made $666 million. Ed Sheeran streams 2.6 billion, and he was paid 7 million euro. What the hell is that?
So Socrates' point is exactly what you've made. That if you go digital, you are making other people rich.
Now, when you look at it like
no, I get that. So that's why I'm saying that from a value point of view, I am sure that because of the 2.6 billion, Ed Sheeran may have gotten more concerts globally.
Yeah.
So if I put all the concerts together, the love of things together,
he might make more.
Yeah. However, we are talking about Socrates' point on sales.
CDs. CDs versus digital.
Number two, again, I'm an illiterate in this space, so my examples might be wrong. There's something I picked online called the album equivalent.
Yeah.
So the literature on album equivalent says that how many streams must you do of a song to equate an album sale?
Yeah.
Now I had to listen to a song 1,500 times before I would have had one sale.
Yeah.
Now even today, that math has changed, and we are saying that for it's changed. Yeah, I get that. Now it's saying that if I'm listening to the song on a paid platform, like Apple Music or like anything else, I have to listen to the song 1,250 times for it to equate one album sale.
Right.
Now, if I'm listening to the song on a free platform, I need to listen to it 3,750 times. And the only way that paid is computed is because there are free ads being played to me.
Right.
So question is this. From a pure mass perspective, if you're not doing value additions and concepts, per CD sales perspective, Socrates is right.
Yeah.
And for me, there's nothing that beats that. If I'm actually they sold 100,000 cassettes those days, and sold one cassette for, say, how much?
Say 15 CDs.
15 CDs.
Or even 10 CDs.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Even 5 CDs. Let's even say 5 CDs.
The only way I can make that
compared to Kim Promise streaming online.
Yeah, Kim Promise can stream all he wants. If he's being paid 0.0034 per stream on his 28 million, how much am I getting at the end of the day? So, for me, the real value in streaming is how do I go global with what I am doing and get shows in Abu Dhabi, in everywhere else, and that makes me popular. Now, there are comedians online today who are doing a lot of skits. Yeah. And I was wondering, how do you make money from the skits that you're doing?
Yeah.
And I listened to some guy and he said, because of his skit, he's selling T-shirts. He sells caps.
Merchandising.
Right. And so he's making money off merchandising because maybe his skits are called DKB Up and Rising.
Mr. Macaron.
And he sold caps on that. So he's making money not from the videos he's doing per se, but because of the value addition. So my point is, Socrates is right when it comes to the math. But in terms of bulk package and the deal itself, you might get more from a global reach with digital. But from a per CD, per cassette as compared to streaming, look, you've got to be kidding. You can't even compare.
Mr. Boomsley.
So, Jesse is right on the fact that
on the
unlocking the global value, unlocking the global value and the opportunities that come with streaming, he's right on that.
Yeah.
But he's also, you guys are also being simplistic when you look at it from.
But life must be simple.
But let me break it down. Let me break it down here. So, you see the Ed Sheeran song that he spoke about.
Yeah. Shape of You.
Total views that he got.
Yeah.
That was just YouTube. Right?
Just one.
Yes. So that 7 million you're talking about is just the payment from YouTube. Okay. So in order to really gauge what he got from all of it, you've got to be able to quantify, at least you to project, quantify the bigger ones. Quantify Tidal. The payment from Tidal is different.
Give me the figure.
Yes, I'll probably have to check with you.
I want to see it because the article I read, it didn't limit it to YouTube.
Yes, but it's not, that was his YouTube.
No, I get that, but the article didn't say that. So if you have the contrary numbers, I'm happy to see it.
So that's the thing about streaming. Again, there's another part of it that you are not looking at. When you buy an album, I see that you did the equivalent to bring the minds to it. When you buy an album, say, I hear Snowboy's album is on the shelf for Pistols of Mama.
Okay.
The album is, they say, 25 CDs or 30 CDs. Yes. There are 15 songs on it. Break it down by the 30 CDs. You come to about, 2 CDs per song. Yeah. Now, that is all anybody that buys the album will pay, even if he listens to it 1 million times. So, when you're comparing the Pistols of Mama album, you just can't compare the album, like the MJ album, to just a single song of Ed Sheeran. You've got to look at the album, the total streams of the album minus the track, which is Shape of You, surpasses that of the Michael Jackson's album, and so you may make more.
So,
let me explain it again so you get it. Let me explain it so you get it.
Yes.
You compared Michael Jackson, the album, right? And then you compared Ed Sheeran's one song.
Yes.
To really try to create the parallel.
I can put it all together.
Yes, you can put it all together to get the total streams of Ed Sheeran's album
I
that
agree.
had the shape of you to Michael Jackson's album.
But I make you one promise.
But the point again, even today,
you will not even exceed 20 million euros.
But even today,
one voice.
The numbers that you'd see is that Michael Jackson is still today getting more streams. His streams is running in the hundreds millions on all the platforms, regardless. You understand? So that is the thing. Everybody is looking at it from the CD part. Now I spoke to a number of musicians. Bring it to Ghana, because Socket was talking about Ghana, and then we had a conversation, and they said, okay, look, there are a number of things. When they cut the cassettes, they had to cut their own cassettes, cut their inlays, buy their banderole, and then give it to the distributor at a certain fee. When he does that on your own, you're supposed to put in some investment as well to ensure that you drive it and then people are able to buy it.
Correct.
So there's been instances a lot of the time where they're able to take advance fee on the basis of the per cost of the cassette or the CD. All the cost, because the distributor tells him that they put it all in promotion. That was when they used to pay for payola and all of those things and stuff like that. So by the time you are done, just a few will not even cover the cost of cutting the CDs, the overlays, and everything. So they had to rely on the second revenue channel at a certain point in time, which was events.
But Sadiq, hold on. Before you even get there. Sadiq, hold on. Before you even get there, weren't they also getting something they called forward money or upfront money?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The advance. So they got the advance. But advance, when you take the advance, you have to you have to do your own promotion from the advance.
Okay.
Sometimes even when you're a big act and you have a certain marketing power, top of mind, like Lumba, Entry, Rexoma and Co., and you have a hot product, you could have the distributors lining up because of some of them wanted exclusive, the bigger distributor, to advance you somewhere.
Correct.
So maybe you would have to come out with a cost to say, I'm selling my CD or cassette at 4,000 at the time, which is 4 CDs today, right?
Yeah.
So then they say, okay, may prefer 10,000 copies. So he'll pay you that money to cover the 10,000 copies. Then on the basis of some of the money that you take, you have to now go and cut the cassettes, create your overlays, buy the banderoles, put it together and go and give it to them. Now, you have to go and do promotion, because just sometimes this cost is what you need to cover some of these costs, with the hope that when you're able to promote, the subsequent payment that will come will be your profit. So indeed, they were not making money here. And there was a certain point in time where the real profit came from selling their right to foreign distributors in the diaspora. So they do all the things they are doing here. They create the top of mind for the album and everything. And then somebody comes who has a certain shop in UK and says, okay, let me buy the right for Europe. Let me buy the right for London. That was the profit for them. So it was not as if they were actually making money. So compare it now. Yes, compare it now to today. When you look at, say, a King Promise, take a look at the streams he gets per album. Right? The problem I realize has always been the advance money and then the delayed money that comes with streaming.
Correct.
Now you make the point about a filmmaker that I wanted to address. There are different things that happens with digital streaming. We tend to bundle it all together.
Yeah.
So film now, obviously the distribution channels has changed.
Yeah.
YouTube, for instance, doesn't really care about the quality and the standard. It's a freemium platform for a lot of people. Yes. So you can produce whatever and put it there. Netflix and Amazon Video Prime and Co. that pay heavily, they care about quality.
Of course.
And so you need a certain money to be able to produce that quality to be able to make more money from there. So if you put it together, you may, makes the point. So today, the producer who understands, or those that have the insights and understand it, like the likes of Shelley, Yvonne Nelson, Peter Sedufia, they are finding the funds to put in. It's not easy to put into it. And obviously they are getting the right deals with the likes of Netflix, Amazon Video Prime, and of course beyond that they are able to sell to other television stations for them to make money.
It will be interesting to ask them.
Now, yes, it will be interesting to ask them, but it's
how much money they are making now.
Yes, as against the time they were selling. Now there were certain things that they also used to face here in Ghana. They had what they call the Opera Square Mafia or the Cantonmanto Mafia, where Rasta will know. They are due CDs. They take their CDs, right? They are supposed to distribute it. You go. There was a phenomenon where they suspected that these distributors were cutting their own fake ones and selling it. So when you go, after you've done all the promotions and everything, and you dare not raise a finger.
Why?
Because you'll be banned. Leila Jansi had gone on record on this with Socrates and a number of them. Even because when you speak, who are you to go and speak to Opera Square Mafia because some distributor there had cut? You'll be blacklisted. And that was the only distributing avenue that was there. But today, yes, it was like a cartel. Today, digital makes it easy for you to reach million audiences across the world in the ways that you may never have. When I spoke to some of the old musicians, they said the only markets they had access to was immediately Ghana, and then to some extent when they sell the rights to be in Europe and in America. But even in that, they just took a nominal figure without recourse to how much the person will sell it anywhere and make money. They couldn't even track it. They were not even bothered. But today, it exposes them to other markets that they didn't use
that they didn't know.
And also because it thrives on volume trade, the more you push it out there, the more money you make. A CD.
At least you and Jesse agree on one thing. Hold on, let me go to the phone lines quickly. Hold that thought. We've got Lexus Bill on the line, the man who's got the biggest drive time show in the city. Yo, nation. How you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
We're good. So we brought you into this conversation because I know you have strong opinions on this particular subject matter. Being a DJ and somebody who drives the city home, you work with music on a daily basis. Socrates Safo has opined strongly that musicians focus more on CD sales as compared to digital sales. Because in his opinion, I mean, CDs would make them more money, would get more money into their pockets as compared to digital sales. And Jesse has given us some fantastic mathematics on that point as well to buttress what Socrates Safo said. But that is just on the face value of looking at CDs versus digital, the music, nothing more beyond that. What's your take?
Right. Thank you, George. Let me say hello to your panelists as well. Wonderful people. And I've been following the conversation. And let me start by saying that I can totally relate to Uncle Ken's love for CDs because I personally also came up in the CD era. So when I started radio in 2004, thereabouts, I mean, everybody was, now banning CDs and we all had our CD bags. I'm actually literally looking at my CD bags right now, stuck under my bed somewhere. and I had very bulky ones. And it was really a joy to sit down and number the songs. When you burn a CD, you don't want to write the number one song, but two songs and whatnot. There is really a joy. And some of us enjoyed, playing CDs. We want to talk about sound quality as well. Right after the vinyls, CDs give you good sound quality. Even currently, what is supposed to be ideal for radio broadcast, there's 320 kilobits per second sound of the file if it's a soft copy. We're not following it. So we are playing songs that are 198 or 256 or something. So if we're talking about sound quality, of course, CDs are quite superior to the soft copies that we're playing now.
Yeah.
But you see, the conversation now is about business. The conversation is a numbers game, right? And even before we even talk numbers, I see a problem with us in this part of the world. We're always late to the party. And it's because of things like this. We're always late to the party. We're always waiting for the world to go far ahead before we now start, struggling to get into the mix of things. If we take the trends of streaming and whatnot seriously, we probably would be laughing and, exploring the opportunities that affords us than still being stuck to our old ways of CDs and whatnot.
Yeah.
See, we are behaving like the Nokias and the Blackberries. Tell you what, 10 years ago, companies used to restrict access to Facebook. So if people go to work from 6 a.m. to about 5 p.m., you can't access Facebook.
No, you couldn't.
Because they felt that you were wasting time. But today, Facebook is integral in, marketing.
It is a publicity platform. Yeah.
You see, we fail to see the light early. And we're just, dilly-dallying and dancing around the things that we're used to. When there are opportunities available to us, streaming has afforded musicians a great opportunity to make more money than CDs will ever afford. Yes, they were making money selling copies. I'm proud. When I go out there, I mean, the last album I bought was a Zahara album I bought in South Africa, and I hold it dearly. I cherish it. But from a pure business perspective, look, streaming offers you a lot more than CDs ever will. If you're producing your CDs in Ghana, ask yourself, production of the CDs itself, your inlays, your covers, whatever it is, the hard copy, even if you wanted to distribute globally, have you thought about shipping? The cost involved in all of these.
Okay, please go ahead. Yeah.
Now, the cost involved in all of these, okay, plus, compared to producing your song and handing it over to a streaming platform, which gives you a market that is global. And of course, it also comes with marketing tools that you will be able to help you to, make your music reach all the people in the world. So right now, if I go on any streaming platform, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever it is, I can type in artists in the world and I have access to their music. Okay?
Yeah.
You have this available to you. And yes, it might, and because, so streaming is such that the thing is there. And our lifestyles have been retuned to, to be able to make people access streaming, the streaming platforms. So, for example, if I sit in my car and I want to play music, I go straight to my phone and I go onto a streaming platform. Even my car, my Renault Duster doesn't have a CD player. A lot of the new cars are doing away with CD players. And I don't remember the last time I played a CD anyway. Do you understand? So we need to look futuristic.
Yeah.
Let me give you some figures. Way back in, I think, 2016, when Drake and Wizkid collaborated on One Dance, right?
Yeah, we're here.
When it amassed an estimated, this is at 2016, $4.8 million in royalty, in streaming revenue. $4.8 million. And Wizkid as a contributor has a share. Let's even say he has a 30% share in that, right?
Yeah.
Ask yourself, how many albums, physical copies, hard copies, would you sell to be able to get $4 million globally?
Oh, but artists have done that in the past, Lexus.
What did you say?
A lot of artists have done that in the past. Michael Jackson has sold millions of records.
But within which time frame? With what resources? And
well, when CDs were in vogue, they did it.
The covers and whatnot. Do you understand?
Well, we get you.
Put all that into perspective.
Yeah.
Jerusalem, in 30 days, amassed about $200,000 in 30 days. And this was even just the beginning, before the whole craze and the hype about it. Ask yourself, how much money would you have to, put in production of the CDs to get that money?
To get there. Anyway, Jesse wants to, make a quick contribution to your point. Jesse, you wanted to say something?
So, Lexus, focus doesn't mean exclusion. And I don't think Socrates' point is for digital to be excluded. I think the conversation was around... it's about monetization and where do you get a lot of your money from, and therefore we compare the CD generation
that
and the digital generation.
Hold on. Just comparing the avenues that are afforded by streaming to what CDs and hard copies afford us. Do you understand what I mean? So yes, I get that, and I'm not even talking about what Socrates said or whatever it is. The real conversation is about, does streaming afford us a better access to our money and the due that the artists deserve? And for me, it is. And the more they are tuned to take advantage of the platforms. I mean, about 8 years ago, there were more downloads than streaming.
That's true.
When we're predicting that, look, downloads are going to die out, or probably are going to dwindle, revenue from downloads are going to dwindle, people didn't believe it. People thought that people still want to own the song and have it on their computer anyway. But now everybody's walking around with their phone and they're just streaming the music. We don't even have space for all the music that we want.
You have a point. Yeah, I think your point is clear. Yeah.
To support these things. So what I want musicians and we in the creative industry to do is to assess our lifestyle, the trends, and latch on to the opportunities now than wait.
And wait till it's too late. Yeah.
Because we're always late to the party.
All right. Lexus, thank you very much. I mean, I think you've made... You've all come join us in the studio one Saturday, eh? You can't just be walking up and down the Ebri Mountain by heart. Yo. Charlie, thanks. Thanks. That's the man, Lexus Bill. Hopefully he might join us here next week, Saturday. You never know. We're back to the studio. And we've been joined by Socrates Safo. Socrates, you're welcome. Let me quickly go to Sadiq. Sadiq has to get onto a radio interview.
No. I just want to
No. He was making a point before we took him off and went to the phone lines. Don't worry, we'll come to you. We'll come to you. Yes. Let's go. Sadiq, quickly.
You know, when we're speaking, everybody felt that even in digital streaming world, you don't do the advances.
Yeah.
We do the advances.
Okay.
In fact, the advances today, digital platforms, aggregators, the advances today, I know a number of artists this year that have gotten not less than $50,000 per song advance.
Good
I know.
Money. That's good.
Yes, per song.
Good money.
Why? Because, I've been playing Music Time. One of the organizations I'm working for now is actually doing advances.
Is that 50,000 cedis or dollars?
Dollars.
Oh, okay.
Per song, advance. Okay. So, and even that one, the deal, when you compare it to the advance they were getting then, was more structured. In this case, after they give you the $50,000 per the song, obviously it has to be recouped from the song. They don't own the masters, and then you can share 50-50 or 60-40 with them. However, the marketing in this case and the distribution and the playlisting is on them, because obviously when they do the marketing and the playlisting, they have better chances of recouping the $50,000 and everything. These are young Ghanaian artists sitting down here. Within the last few months, Attributes will tell you, Kilbit and Co will tell you, I've been to the studios having conversations related to advanced with the aggregator that I'm working with. Obviously, because I can't mention the names. So the point that has to be made, again, like I said to you, is that digital streaming, when you're looking at it, continues to deliver more value after all the analysis that we've made than CD sales.
All right.
Today.
To certain artists.
Yeah, okay.
You made CD sales to certain artists. Everybody that was selling.
Let's bring Socrates into the conversation. The man who's got us talking this afternoon. No, he's not. He's making He's taking a phone call. Socrates, let's hear you. Socrates, let's hear you quickly. Socrates, let's hear you. We're almost out of time. Yes.
You know what? I've been listening, and Kwame Rasta, where is he?
He's outside. He's also on the phone. Let's go on. Yes.
Well, my brother. Since was it last week?
Yeah.
I've heard jabs. And I was expecting it, because I told Dr. Khan. He said, "Oh, what can you do about it?" I said, "Oh, me, I won't do anything. I've just stated my point."
Yeah.
But wait, you see how they will insult me. Do you understand?
Why are they insulting you?
Yeah, because one, out of ignorance in the sense that most of the people haven't experienced what I'm saying. They've not taken the time to do the research into it. So from their point, whatever you are saying.
It's rubbish.
Foolish.
Okay.
Oh, Akwakra, is this the mindset that he's running the ministry? You see how they jab and then making it look like you are some kind of, excuse my language, idiot.
But at least nobody insulted you here. You actually got Jesse to buttress what you are saying with some nice statistics.
Yes, but that is what is going on. So my point, all that I'm saying, I beg you, like Sadiq just said, $50,000 was advanced to somebody. Good money.
Yeah.
If I am a musician, I'll go for it. I'll still put my songs on streaming platforms, but please, I know that there is a residual market left there on the CD market. Do you understand? That I also tap into.
So, Socrates, what you're saying is that you still believe strongly that currently, today, people are buying more CDs than buy music digitally?
Said I will do.
No. I'm asking a question, just a different question.
I didn't qualify to say that there is big or there is small. I said there is still some market left.
Okay.
That's all I said.
Now, as a host, I'm asking you a question. As somebody who's well versed in the industry with all your experience, do you think that currently in Ghana or in the world today, people are patronizing more CDs as compared to digital music sales?
I know.
You know that people are purchasing more CDs.
The boys who are selling the CDs.
Yeah.
Let's go through. The other day I told you that let's go to
Opera.
Not Opera.
To do.
Lotteries.
Or Lotteries. Okay. Yeah.
In front of Lotteries or
High Street. Yeah.
Fiesta Royal.
Yeah.
You see the boys
traffic
there. They are still selling, and they are all selling pirated copies. I know them. They all come from Bukum. I know them. That's where they cut the copies.
You haven't arrested them or stopped them. That's piracy.
That's another matter.
Okay.
But you see, because the musicians have abandoned that market, and people still want it. That is why.
So pirates are shopping their money free.
Yes, that's all I was saying. That please, we abandoned that market, and the pirates are still making money from it. Let's say that you can sell even 1,000 copies. Let's put it in the extreme, 1,000 copies of your Aloga market. 1,000 copies. Is it not good money? Even if you can use that money, 1,000 copies will, at let's say
15 cities, we'll give you how much?
10 cities, 1,000. We'll give you 10,000.
We'll give you how much?
10,000.
10,000 cities.
Yeah.
That 10,000 cities can even do a photo shoot for you. For a musician.
Socrates.
And
That's
say
right.
that
Yeah.
this is the 10,000 I'd make from this.
From
Is it
it.
not good money?
It is good money.
I'm not saying we should abandon streaming.
The digital, okay.
Look at television. We are all doing digital now. But do you know that there are still analog channels running?
Yeah, there are.
Why haven't the TV stations abandoned or shut down their analog channels?
Because we have still not made the digital switch fully
Good.
just yet.
But there are still
The digital switch was supposed to have happened 5 years ago.
Yeah.
In fact, what are
But
we
I'm
waiting for?
saying
We
is
need to have that discussion.
The analog, still people are watching it small. And
Mhm.
advertisers are reaching them
Mhm.
through these analog channels.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's not the biggest. Streaming is the biggest. I give it away.
I think that is where the confusion came.
Yes.
Because people thought that
No.
what you're saying is that musicians
That's
should
not what I'm
forget.
saying.
Or Uncle Ken, isn't that what, Jesse, isn't that how it came out?
I honestly didn't understand it like that.
Yeah, I also didn't understand it like
no,
this.
So
Yeah.
I mean that I understood
where he was coming
I
from.
understood exactly what you were
What
saying.
Socrates was saying. Okay.
Because, like I said, any elementary person who knows how to Google knows that Ed Sheeran has one stream at 2.6 billion.
Yeah.
And any elementary person, like I said, who checks Michael Jackson's Thriller album knows that
He
baseline
sold
is 66 million
million,
copies.
yeah.
Assuming he sold one album for $1, that is $66 million.
Exactly.
Which is a good point.
Which, yes. Now let's assume he sold it for $10. That is $660 million.
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran made €7 million from one channel.
Exactly.
I'm just checking here. Spotify paid him $5 million. Now put all the big. Let's say there are 5 major streaming
So
sites.
7.5 million. That's 12
5
million.
times 5 is
It's
25
still
million.
25 Let's even
You
say he made
still
30
don't get
million.
where Mickey J got to. However, there's another article that says that Ed Sheeran earned almost $783 million for his tours and everything else. So because streaming allows you into new markets, if you have a good road manager and a great team, you can tour the world. Davido, for instance, went to do some show in some country which doesn't even speak the Nigerian language, and they were singing a song back to back. How did he promote himself there? It wasn't because he was exactly. So I'm just saying that if I would earn 0.0034 or 0.0005 per streaming,
and you can sell 10 CDs,
and I can sell 10 CDs, take advantage of it. So he's right to the extent that from a sales perspective, the top line per CD sales makes sense. However, digital gives you reach and it gives you more value. So George, for me,
you see the point you just made.
Yes.
That was the extended point that we got to.
Okay. Yeah.
And I made the point that look, even in that argument, it still makes sense for a CD sales because if you look at the revenues, for 1 million people to stream, that will equate to about 1,000 people buying your CD.
Your CD.
In terms of revenue.
Yes.
So I also move on to say that I've seen Stoneboy and Logan Market
CDs.
Right now, if listeners should go to Dansoma,
the filling stations, they're all over. I've seen
and
some.
ask for Aloga.
Yeah.
But is Stoneboy promoting it?
Yeah, the CDs.
No, he's not promoting it, which I find it to be so strange. Maybe he sold the right to somebody. Do you understand? But he's not promoting it. If Stoneboy should put in some aggressive marketing of these CDs, he will make more money.
Actually used to promote a lot of. I remember Sarkodie or somebody went to do a CD signing ceremony at the West Hills Mall for the highest album. I think it was Sarkodie, and all that. But they don't do those things anymore.
Stopped and they went into streaming.
Yeah,
there were challenges with the distribution system. Do you understand?
Yeah, piracy and all that.
Piracy, improper record keeping, and all that. Revenue shares and all that. Do you understand? Instead of we focusing on that and fixing it, out of anger and frustration from these musicians, when they heard that there is a streaming site which can show you the numbers you've made and all that, they abandoned the DVDs
and they went to that site. Socrates, your point couldn't have been clearer.
So
we've heard it.
Thank you for the opportunity to clear myself.
You know you're a family member. You can always pass through, always. But thank you very much. Thank you for me. Oh, they didn't bash you. Oh, Kwame Rasta. Don't mind. Kwame Rasta is a comedian. He wants to join DKB.
He's a comedian. A lot of sense.
He's a comedian.
No,
don't mind him.
He's saying
comedians don't make sense.
0302216501. That's our WhatsApp line. Please do call us. Jesse, as we wait for the phone calls, this one very quickly so that we can wrap up on it. It sort of ties into what we just discussed, and that's our last topic for the day. Uncle Ken is also here. Bullet says he's moving Rough Town Records to Nigeria. Ghana laws don't support us. Does he have a point? And Bullet is going to join us next week. Very quickly. Uncle Ken, what's your take on this one?
I feel so sorry.
Yeah.
Listening to Bullet.
Yeah.
Come up with the reasons why he's thinking along those lines. But you know, something struck me. I heard Gloria Sappho make the point about how Nigerians adore their heroes.
Yeah.
And she was making the point about even the people who get into the Big Brother house as nobodies, you know, unknowns. And by the time they come out,
they're heroes.
They are heroes, and Nigerians push them, and all of them get to do something. And she was mourning the fact that that doesn't happen here in Ghana. Even people who we see every day on the screens, what do we do to them? We chastise them. And we
Uncle Ken, let me give you an example. There was an event in Lagos, Nigeria, some time back. And, you know, a lot of artists, people were there. And then at some point, you know, way into the program, show had started. About an hour into the show, Wizkid arrives. And just as he enters, the MC stops. Ladies and gentlemen, our son just entered the auditorium, Wizkid. And guess what? He got a standing ovation in Ghana. And he was given an applause. He was ushered to his seat, and he sang. You know,
what I didn't agree with was his reason with the FDA matter.
Yeah.
And you know my stance on that FDA matter, George. I would never agree with you people who were of the opinion that...
that's a discussion for another day. You don't worry. We'll come to that. Jesse, so any thoughts on that one? But Bullet will join us next week. I don't know.
I think Bullet should actually join.
Yeah.
For me, if there aren't enough laws supporting us, it's a separate conversation altogether.
It is.
My only example would be when we decided to create an ecosystem that supports made in Ghana products. And we're looking for media houses to do 80% Ghana music.
Right.
So the support is not just from the law's perspective, but you would have assumed that assuming that we created an incentive for media houses to play more local songs.
Yeah.
Then at least it's very clear.
Yeah.
Because other countries have done it to promote your own songs.
Exactly.
So I don't have much to say on this.
But
topic.
we achieved that.
No, but you see, there was a lot of
George, don't
backlash.
you think we achieved that when that campaign came out?
No, I don't think the campaign really worked.
I kind of agree with Jesse. I don't think it really flew.
It didn't really.
Maybe. Joy FM.
We tried, but did we win? That's the question.
No, you see, for me,
the amount of Ghanaian music you play.
You see, we do play a lot of Ghanaian music, but we would also agree that we do a lot more in the month of March.
Maybe there was no incentive.
It's not about the incentive.
If you had been giving incentive to say, if you play 90% Ghanaian music,
look,
I might give you a waiver
the
from
problem.
ABCD for the
I think
media
the problem is a problem that has been there since the Gumro issue about the logging and everything. The thing is that, hold on, the problem is that I don't think our musicians are earning their worth. I don't think the industry is paying our musicians what they deserve. And I think when that happens, things would start changing. And it's a big task for Gamro. Unfortunately, leaders after leaders after leaders have not been able to solve that problem. Why? I still do not know. And they would give you reasons why it is not possible. And I find it heartbreaking because, look, I
would add this to the mandate of the creative arts people.
Yes.
That creating the value for our artists is very important.
It is very important.
Because
it changes the entire narrative.
If you have a benchmark,
it changes the entire narrative.
When you listen to radio, a lot more Ghanaian music.
It changes the entire narrative. Uncle Ken, it is not about the playing. You are playing, but are they earning from what you're playing?
Well,
they
that's
should.
Another matter. Yes,
we are playing. Whatever is making a radio station popular, the music and everything, you get the listeners, advertisers come, you make money and you keep it alone. What about the musician?
I agree
that
with
is what the problem is. You understand? You're playing, but how much are the musicians making from what you're playing? And then they put all their last hope on the poor event organizer who wants to do some small events, and they charge him an arm and a leg. Exactly. That is why Jesse and I can't do events.
So in effect, if Bullet was in Nigeria, it means when the Sheikh could do a Kasapekon advert.
Exactly. Wow. Yes, she could. Anyway, gentlemen, thank you very much. We're going to go for a short commercial break. When we come back, and then we'll wrap it all up. Jesse Amwejapong has been our panel member for today. He's joining us regularly. He'll be here next Saturday. Uncle Kennedy, always here. Exactly. Sadiq Abdullah Abu Kwamiras and Sukrit Safo also passed through. When we come back, we're going to do some music, and then the news team will take over, after which Belay is going to bring you flashbacks. Stay on.
Agnes, would you be my girlfriend? Agnes, would you please